We begin with that breaking news, the chaotic and violent scene that unfolded in East Hollywood overnight when a driver plowed his car into a crowd of people on the sidewalk. This just minutes after he was kicked out of a nightclub. That driver has now been identified as 29-year-old Fernando Ramirez. At least 30 people were injured, one of them critically. And then the crowd turned on Ramirez, punching and kicking him before someone pulled out a gun and shot him. Everyone is expected to survive.
All of this unfolding around 2 a.m. at Santa Monica and Vermont Avenue. We have live team coverage as we bring you the latest tonight, beginning with Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo, live tonight outside the club. Tim.
Jory, Sophie, you may be able to see over my shoulder here some of these security cameras outside this nightclub. There's apparently cameras outside as well as inside. Investigators have already reviewed the footage and they say it paints a very clear picture. They say this was an intentional act by a man who was kicked out of this nightclub, got into his car and drove onto the sidewalk, only crashing essentially right where I'm standing. And that man has already been arrested for assault with a deadly weapon.
Smacked everybody he just smacked everybody, bro.
Pure chaos on a sidewalk in East Hollywood as a man who was kicked out of a nightclub returned in a car and drove it into the crowd leaving the club.
The whole time he's hitting the sidewalk, curb, and everything.
And then when you got out here, what'd you see?
At least 30 bodies on the floor.
Dozens left bloodied on North Vermont Avenue just south of Santa Monica Boulevard, some with broken bones. One victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition.
Your phone's flying out your hand. You see shoes flying. You see like change, money. There's hot dog stands that were outside the bar. I mean, the club. They got hit. It was like a movie.
And all 29 people on the sidewalk outside the club Vermont Hollywood were hurt. But those who weren't injured immediately took aim at the man behind the wheel. The driver, now identified by LAPD as 29-year-old Fernando Ramirez, was yanked from the driver's seat by the rest of the crowd. He got punched, kicked, and even shot by one of those witnesses.
Security from the club attempted to detain him and handcuffed him, at which time an additional suspect, not related to our driver, came from across the street, armed with a firearm, and then shot our suspect in the buttocks.
Those watching from the apartment complex across the street were stunned as injured clubgoers were strewn across the sidewalk and street.
Oh my God.
With so many people hurt, the fire department sent what seemed like everyone available.
A total of 124 firefighters for a medical call is a significant number of firefighters, but because of the number of patients, we wanted to make sure that we had enough paramedic resources on scene and fire companies to treat and transport those. So we set up, just like in a national system, a triage.
Ramirez also taken to the hospital, but is expected to survive the bullet in his behind. Mayor Karen Bass responding in a statement writing, quote, "This is a heartbreaking tragedy. The hearts of Angelenos are with all of the victims impacted this morning. A full investigation into what happened is underway. And to police, it is already clear this was no accident."
It's clear that when he drove that vehicle down a sidewalk and around a bus, it was an intentional act.
Well, it is a Saturday night, and there was an event planned for this nightclub this evening. It has since been canceled. You may see some of the post notes on the front of the business here, just taped up here in the last hour, that essentially says that they're deeply saddened by the incident that happened last night, and their thoughts and prayers are with the victims, but they thought out of respect for those impacted in this crime, it would be inappropriate to hold tonight's event. It has been postponed for a later date later this summer. We're live tonight in East Hollywood. Tim Caputo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Tim, thank you. The sidewalk outside any nightclub on a Friday night is already a very crowded place to be. So you can imagine the chaos that unfolded when this all played out.
Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam spoke with multiple witnesses and joins us live with their stories. Tim.
Sophie, Jory, the images are heartbreaking. Witnesses tell me that they were so shocked to see so many people on the ground injured.
Oh my God.
In seconds, East Hollywood's nightlife became a real-life nightmare.
Oh my God. Look, there's a girl down right there. It's not moving. There's a girl down that's right there. It's not moving.
Overnight, a man drove his car into the crowd as they left the club.
He just smacked everybody. Look, my boy.
This witness capturing the aftermath of the attack outside Vermont Hollywood. Jason said he heard the moment of impact.
We in the club. We standing, we like 5 people behind, and we hear a loud bang.
So we all start ducking.
It sounded like gunshots, but whole time he's hitting the sidewalk, curb, and everything.
Oh my God, bro.
Cell phone video shows folks in the crowd pulling the suspect out of the vehicle before they sucker punch him. An army of first responders arrived, treating at least 30 victims. An LAPD officer seen holding an injured victim. Another victim is seen weeping on the ground. In this video, the suspected driver is on a stretcher with his hands tied together. Police now looking for the person who pulled out a gun and shot him in the butt. In all, 24 people were taken to the hospital, and all of them, including the driver, is expected to survive.
It's crazy because people everywhere laying down on cars, people bleeding out and stuff, and we're like, damn, like we're in disbelief because 20 seconds more, that would have been us.
Yeah, and witnesses say the car crash sounded like gunshots going off. Tim Pulliam, ABC 7, Eyewitness News.
Tim, thank you. And there is a lot to unpack with this breaking news. Stick with Eyewitness News as investigators look for the shooter and we learn more about the driver who struck the crowd. We'll continue to monitor this story throughout the evening. And remember, when we're not on air, you can get the latest on our free ABC 7 Los Angeles app and on abc7.com.